Hi, I'm Lynda Kanase, here to share with you how to make this mini book using a blanket stitch binding and my mini album by Sizzix. Here are the supplies you will need. First, you will need the mini album die, the photo frame holiday, and the photo frame and words dies. You will need one sheet of 8.5 by 11 paper leather in white. You will need 6 sheets of paper stock that's a little heavier weight. It's about 110-pound paper weight. You will need to download and print the template for the cover and the spine. I'll have the links below and on my website. You will need a pair of scissors, a straight edge ruler, a craft knife, a bone folder, some adhesive, generally liquid and a roller type. I also decorated mine with washi tape, but the paper leather, you can do so many different things with it. You can paint it, stitch it, distress it. So on my book, on my example, I've used washi tape. You will need extra strong thread. You can wax it as well to use it on binding, but I just used it straight, and this is vintage thread. You will need a tapestry needle, and what I did, I also measured out, you will need about 40 inches of the thread to make the binding when we get to there. And of course, you will need a big shot machine to make this project great. To start this project, we're going to begin with the cover. You will have the PDF download of the pattern, the template for the cover. You will take the 8.5 by 11 white paper leather and cut it in half horizontally, so now it's 5.5 inches high. What we'll do is basically cut out the template from the paper leather. Now you could either use a straight edge and a craft knife if you're comfortable with that. If not, you can use scissors to cut it out. And there are little tick marks on the template, and you want to just cut a little bit on those tick marks so that you have an indication of where the fold line will be. You also want to have a bit of scrap paper that you can cut. This will be the spine, and you want to cut that out as well. And it also has the little tick marks so that you can cut that into the little edge here. So again, you know where to fold it. So when you cut out your cover from the paper leather, you'll have a shape that looks like this. And from there, what I did is I took some washi tape and I laid it down at an angle to make something interesting. But again, you could paint it, you could stitch it, you could do so many different things with paper leather, but I just did the washi tape. And what you want to do is you make it obviously bigger, you trim it down, and then you'll trim away the parts in here. And because you made those tick marks, you also know where to fold it now. So you have these clean folds, and then make the embellishments for the cover. I used a bit of pink paper, and this is a banner that comes with the mini album die. You want to lay that on here, and this is the word celebrate that is in the photo frame holiday set. So I want to do that. I want to make sure the word is downwards, and you want to push it all the way to the right. And you could take a piece of washi tape, and you can hold it down in place. And then you could take this whole piece and run it through your big shot machine. And what you will get is the word celebrate cut out from that banner piece. Next, you can lay it on top of your cover. And you have the spine cover already made, and you could lay that on top. Then the next thing you want to do is to take your word today, which comes in the photo frame and word set. And now that you have the word celebrate in place, you can lay this down on top of the paper leather, exactly where you want it, and we can cut that out, again using a bit of washi tape, and we'll glue this down later, but you can tape it down. And then you could run that through your big shot machine, and what that will do is cut out this opening in your cover, and you can see that it's a hole in there, and it adds just another dimension of interest on your cover. To begin making the pages, we're going to start with 6 sheets of the heavier paper weight. We're going to begin with 2 sheets. We're going to cut them in half, so we have 4 pieces of 5.5 by 8.5 size sheets. And we'll have 4 of those to make 4 regular size pages. And to do that, we will use the mini album die, and we will cut this just through the big shot machine. And it comes with these binding holes, so you'll be able to make some perfect single pages very easily. And you want to do 4 of those. What we will then get are these perfectly cut little sheets, and you want to fold it in half and use your bone folder and do a nice clean fold. It's very important to have that nice clean fold before we bind them together. For the next step, you want to take the remaining 4 sheets of your 8.5 by 11, and we're going to measure and cut it 5.5 inches wide, and then cut it down vertically. And you want to do that for all 4 sheets. You will then take those sheets and measure 2 7/8 inches wide. So you'll have 2 7/8 inches wide here. And you want to do a fold there, and again, you want to do a very clean bone folder edge right there. Then we will take our die and we will slide it down so the blade of the die is off the edge, and then we will run that through the Big Shot machine, and what we will get is this tri-fold page, and it has a fold here because we didn't cut through it, and there's a fold, the regular fold, so you want to again fold it in half, use your bone folder for a nice clean fold, and now you have a 2 fold to go along with your single fold piece. And to make a signature, you'll just place it on the inside, and you want to do that 4 times so you'll have 4 signatures for binding into your book. So now I'm going to show you how to bind the book using the blanket stitch technique. I first tied a knot and left a little loop on the end, and you can cut the tail away later, but I wanted to start with this first. Then you want to take your cover and you want to fold back these flaps. They add just extra support as you're binding the album together. You will take your first signature and you will lay it across near the back of the album, of the book, and you will go in through these binding holes. And you will come out in the opening, and you'll come around, come along the top, and go back and catch the little loop that you had left, and that will secure your thread for your first stitch. Then you want to go back through the same hole and back out again. And you want to pull it a little tight, and you want to keep the line straight here. You close the first signature, and then you will take your second signature and you lay it in there, and you come from the outside and you want to hook underneath the thread from before so it catches, and then you want to go into the binding holes of your second signature, and you want to come out in the center, come out and over the top again, and here's where it makes the blanket stitch. You want to catch the thread underneath and pull it tight. So that is now your second one. And you'll continue to do that on the third. And the fourth signature. And because this is the last signature, we're going to do something just slightly different. We are still going to go under and catch the thread from before. But because it is the last signature, we're going to go into the same hole again. And you want to make sure it's pulled fairly tight and snug. And then from inside here, we're now going to go across and go out the binding hole and go out through the spine from this side. And at this point, you can flip over your mini book so that you're working in the same direction, and you're going to go around and go back in through the hole of that first signature and come back out and pull it tight, and you want to again go under the thread so that it catches. You want to pull it tight, and then you want to go in the holes of your second signature, and you come up and again catch under the thread into the third signature. And then after you're done with the last signature, you want to go under the previous one, and then you want to go back into the same hole, and now you could tie it off in a neat little knot, making sure again it's very snug, and then you could tie off the end there. And you can cut off the tail, and you will have a blanket stitch bound book. Then you could take the spine that you folded. When you glue that on, you will have a finished book.